good day, everybody. Catch the Torah wave. Welcome to our Sunday Genesis class live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg. It's kind of the highlight of the week for me. I always look forward to hearing Rabbi Goldberg continue to share the depth of Torah with us. It's a joy. And so let's just break in and see how the rabbi, and of course, as always, we're joined by many, many, many people in the Zoom room from all around the planet. It's always great to be together with friends and like-minded people. So let's jump right in. Rabbi Goldberg, you're live on the air on YouTube and Facebook. So we're going to turn the class over to you and look forward to hear more of Genesis today.
Good evening, everybody from Jerusalem. Good to see you. Blessings, everybody. By the way, Sarah, Miriam, Nicole, and Saul, Germany, but you know, it's maybe you're not close one to each other. So it's something that you need to check this out. Just a moment. אני בדיוק נכנסתי לשיעור עם בני נוח. אתה רוצה משהו דחוף?
Oh, these rabbis are so busy.
רגע אחד, אני בודק. Just a moment, sorry everybody. בנוחייד וולד סנטר זה קיבלתי? רגע, אני מחפש אותו.
Well, I'm going to take this moment and share some exciting news for you guys in the class. You know, I've made the commitment to host a Noahide conference here in Canada, and we've we're setting the date for November 21st, which is the 27th of Chesvan this year, and I have secured Rabbi Michael Skoback and his wife are going to do a session each, and Rabbi Chaim Goldberg is going to come to Canada. So this is exciting, and we're hoping to make it a successful conference. And of course, everybody is invited. If you can make your way to British Columbia, Canada, we got loads of hotels. And anyways, it's going to be exciting. 2-day event, 2 8-hour days sessions, and that's what we're targeting. And I've just got to secure the right venue. I've tried to contact some, and we're hoping to contact more. But Rabbi Goldberg's already confirmed that he's willing to come. And like I said, we've got headlining. We've got Rabbi Michael Skoback, and his wife is going to do a session on meditation, which should be very exciting. So that's going to be November 21st this year. You'll be seeing a lot more about it as time goes on, and keep making that happen. So exciting news. I thought I'd share that with you guys.
Okay, everybody. Now we have straight ahead till 9 o'clock tonight. 9 o'clock exactly, not more than that. Just a moment. I need to organize something shortly for Rabbi Sharkey. I'm sorry for this inconvenient situation. Where it is. Here it is. So you already said the secret that I'm going to be in
Canada.
So I'm going to be in Canada. Schedule.
In November, yes. Going to be exciting.
By the way, I have answers for you, but we'll do this later on between us. Okay, now we have until 2 minutes before 9. So let's start. Let's move on. Hope everybody is okay. Everything is fine. We have today a story, a really simple story, and our sages are saying something amazing about this story, that sometimes it is much greater, okay, to have the stories of our fathers then the exact order how to behave that God is giving us after that in the continuous of the Bible. Because this story is a very unique situation where we see how Abraham and his servant Eliezer is trying to organize a woman for Isaac. Now, I said it already once, but I will explain this again so we'll understand the framework of the situation. We had a very big nation of the Hebrew nation. They had a dream, the Hebrew nation. The dream that they had was that they wanted to reunite all the world together, to become brotherhood. We know that in the Babylon Tower, all the world got spread over, and there was one nation that had the prophecy of God, contained the prophecy of God, and their vision, their mission, their idea, their ideology was how to bring back the world to become one unit and without all of those wars and all of those things that we have today. And this specific nation was being demolished, was being people, or Nimrod, especially Nimrod, okay, the first king that we had in this world, he did his best to kill all of them. Where? In the gas chambers. So it wasn't the gas chambers. Then in those days, it wasn't the gas chambers, but it was the chambers that they threw out the Hebrew people. And we had only one family who was left over from that. Now, all of those things that I'm saying to you, they are written down in hints in the Bible, and we can jump from one sentence to another sentence, and we can read Rashi. Okay, the most biggest one who is interpreting, explaining what is happening, is taking from the Midrashim, from what we have in the oral Bible. This is also something maybe. So first of all, we need to understand the situation. And in the Hebrew nation, there are two main ways how to fulfill this mission of bringing all the world to become united. One is the mission that Terach is taking, okay, that he is deciding to sit down in one of the biggest empires in those days and to do this mission in those places. And the second one was Abraham, who got a prophecy from God to build up a nation in the promised land. Those are the two things. And we have three generations that they are fighting one with each other, where and how to fulfill these prophets, to do this here in Israel, or to do this in Haran, in the places that are very important places, but it's like the United States of today, or the Europe of today, places that are very important places, leading in this world, but it's not to build up a nation in Israel, in the Israelite, in the Holy Land. So this is what we have. This is the situation that we have. And now we come to the second generation. After Abraham and Sarah moved in a few places in the Israel land, in Egypt, they came back in those places, but they stayed in Israel. Now we're speaking about the second generation, another generation, Isaac, and who is going to become his wife. I want to remind us that we have a principle when we are reading something in the Bible. Today we know the story, but when they moved inside the story, they didn't know the next verse. They didn't know the continuous of the story. Okay, so let's try to read the story in a situation where we are reading one verse and we don't know exactly what will happen in the next one. Okay, we don't know. Of course, it's very nice to say this. Today we know the end of the story. It's like looking on a movie when you don't know the next step of the movie. You don't know what will happen. So it's also the same thing with today. For example, we have today a very big war between Russia and Ukraine. We don't really know what will happen in another 2 years from this war. Okay, I'm saying 2 years, it's very far. I want to remind us all that the Second World War started also with a fight between two small nations. And after 3 years, it became a worldwide war. So we don't really know what will happen. tomorrow. Okay, what is the next verse of the history? And the same thing when we are going to read the Bible. One more thing before we're going to start to read the Bible. I had a very interesting discussion last Thursday with someone very smart and very nice, very young, nice, smart guy. And he said, look, I'm reading the Bible and I know to explain exactly what God wants me to do. And I said to him, you know, the Hebrew nation have a written Bible and also an oral Bible. And he said to me, but I don't believe in the oral Bible. Now it's okay. I said to him on the spot, I said to him, look, you don't need to listen to me. You can do whatever you want, but let's try for a moment to think what you're saying to me. And again, you will do, it's your decision. I will respect you. I will speak with you. If you want to ask me questions, I will answer you. I'm not saying that because you're not taking my idea, I'm going to hate you and not to speak with you. But listen for a moment what you're saying. We all know that, and this is one of the things I'm going to do a special, what I'm telling you now, I'm going to do a special lesson about this and to spread it over to all of the world. We all know that when you read the Bible, you need to interpret it. You can't take as it's written down the things and the ideas. You need to give all sorts of interpretations and ideas, because the Bible itself, the stories in the Bible, first of all, they're not 100% clear. And secondly, some of them are very hard stories. For example, a story that we saw last, not so long ago, that God is asking Abraham to sacrifice his son. If you're not, we explained in 3 dimensions, the ideas there and what's happening there. But if you're reading it straight ahead, straightforward, without thinking too much, it's very cruel. Okay, God is asking, after he gave him a son, after 100 years that he was expecting a son, okay, God is giving him, miraculously, he's giving him a son, and then he's saying to him, so go sacrifice your son. It's very cruel, very unclear, very, you can't think about God like that. So you must explain things. Now, there are all sorts of explanations, but the question is, who is interpreting, who is explaining those ideas? When we got the Bible that is written down, Moses in Mount Sinai, he got the written Bible, but he also got the oral Bible. And the oral Bible is explaining things from the written Bible. And we have for that a lot of examples. For example, something that we read this Shabbat, okay? This Shabbat, that the Israeli people, it's also this Shabbat, but it's much clearer, another few in Deuteronomy, Numbers, where they found someone who didn't keep the Shabbat, and they didn't know what to do with him. But it's not written anywhere that the things that he did, what is described that he did, that was, illegal to do on Shabbat, it's not written anywhere in the Bible that it's not allowed to do them on Shabbat. But everybody there knew that it's not allowed. So you must say that with the written Bible, they also got something in oral explanations. I will say it like that. Now, the Hebrew nation preserved all the oral explanations, and we lost a lot of this along history, but what we have is also the oral explanation. When someone is interpreting things with his mind, it's great. But exactly who is he worshiping? His mind, his explanations. It's fine. It's fine. But let's be clear. Let's be straight. Let's not try to lie to ourselves. If someone is reading the Bible and is saying, this is how I explaining it, fair enough. So this is how your mind is explaining it. I'm not saying that because of that you're not a good person, or you're not going to do good things, whatever it is. One thing is for sure, it's not 100% what God asked you to do. Those are things that you think that God wants you to do. It's not what God asked you to do. If you want to know what God asked you to do, You need to listen to what he said to us in the written Bible and in the oral Bible. But if you're saying to yourself all sorts of ideas, fair enough. Maybe some of them you're saying good things, exactly what God wanted. And some of them you're missing out. It's okay, fine. But you're worshiping. Who are you worshiping? Your mind. Fair enough. And this is what I explained to him also. We need to, in a moment, we're going to read for a moment a very interesting story. It's a very nice story. It's a romantic story. Fair enough. It's a big debate in the destiny of Abraham or the Hebrew people, how we're going to unite the world back together. It's going to be in Israel, or it's going to be there in other places of the world. Fair enough. But the interpretation of this story, we can say all sorts of ideas, and we can say the things that passed over through the Hebrew sages along history from Moses. By the way, each one and one of you who did the pledge, one of the things that we said in the pledge, that I'm accepting the Bible and the oral Torah as it was guided through Moses to the sages of Israel. This is one of the things that we're saying. And I showed this also once in the Maimonides. Those who want to get the world to come, supposed to get connected with God. And this is how he spoke with us. Those who are very smart people, and some of them are very moral people. I'm saying it's need to be clear. Some of the people are behaving in a very moral way. But exactly who are they worshiping? Are they worshiping God or they're worshiping their minds? So this is the point that it was very important also to make it clear. Now we can go inside to the story. If there is any question, this is the time. Again, tonight, 2 minutes before 9, I need to stop. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. Just a moment.
I got it. I'll try and remind you, Rabbi.
Okay. So let's go inside to the story. If there is any questions, it's okay. You can ask. If not, it's also okay. I think we are in 24, right? I think we are in 24. Yes. Okay. So the first few verses of 24 we already read. Okay, we did read them. Let me do this here. Just a moment. It is fair enough. Now I can see all of it. Fine. We already read the first verses of 24, and we saw the difference. Okay, between maybe I need to show this again so it will be clear. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going back. I think we said it, but I'm going to nail the verses so it will be clear. Okay, let's go to chapter 10. Sorry, let's go to chapter 11. In chapter 11 is starting. The first 11 verses are speaking about
the Tower of Babel.
The Babylon Tower. Yes, exactly. Okay, it is. Let us build ourselves a city, a tower with its top of the heavens, all of those things. And God spreaded all of them.
Scattered them abroad, yes.
Fine. And then we have in this chapter 11, all the destiny of the people, all the 70 nations that was scattered all over the world.
After the flood, yes.
After the Babylon Tower. Okay. And now we have one of the, here it's explaining, sorry, in chapter 10, it says all the 70 nations. Okay, in chapter 10, it says also 70 nations. And I want to show you one of the nations. We have here the sons of Shem.
Were Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram.
Exactly. And we have that Arphaxad, Bikat Shelach, Bikat Eber, Aber, you see, this is the Hebrew people. Aber, 2 sons. One is Peleg, okay, and the other one
It's Joktan.
Joktan. Peleg, what is the reason? What in Hebrew the word Peleg is spread over. Now please read, because why his name is
Because
Peleg?
in his days the earth was divided, and the name of his brother was Joktan.
So in his days the earth was divided, it was spread over. Let's see for a moment Rashi for that. Let's see a moment Rashi for that, so it will be clear what is the vision of this family, of the Hebrew family.
Was divided. The tongues became confused, and they were scattered from the valley and were dispersed throughout the entire world. We learned that Eber was a prophet, since he named his son for a future event.
Enough. This is enough for this moment, okay? And he's explaining all the calculation. You can read it after that. The most important thing is what Aber is calling his son. I want everybody to become back one, united. This is the vision of Aber, okay? Now, when we're going to the next chapter and we see that the next generation after Aber, we have, now let's close Rashi for a moment, right? After Aber, we have Shem and Eber and all of these things. And at the end, it's coming to Nahor. Nahor is the father of Abraham. So Nahor is the father of Terach.
Right.
Terach is the father of Abraham.
Abraham, Nahor, and Haran.
You have 3 kids. Our sages are telling us
That Nahor.
Look for a moment, read verse number 28.
And Haran died during the lifetime of Terah, his father, in the land of his birth in the Ur of Chaldees. So
let's see for a moment what Rashi is saying to us here with this. Oh, come on. So, just a moment, I'm sorry. These difficulties of the...
During the lifetime of Terah his father, on the face of Terah his father, during his father's lifetime, and the Midrash Agadah, Genesis Rabbah 38:13, tells us that he died on account of his father. For Terah complained about Abram his son before Nimrod for crushing his idols, so he, Nimrod, cast him, Abram, into a fiery furnace, and Haran sat and thought, if Abram is victorious, I'm on his side, and if Nimrod is victorious, I'm on his side. When Abraham was saved, and they said to Haran, whose side are you on? Haran said to them, I'm on Abram's side. They cast him into the fiery furnace, and he was burned. This is the meaning of
Ur Kasdim.
Ur Kasdim, okay. the fire of the Chaldees from...
That's enough. So we see here, again, what is happening here. We have a nation that their vision is to unite everybody together. And this nation, this is their vision, is being thrown to the, we say in Hebrew, Ukazdim, okay, to the fire, to the gas chambers. I think I saw it not once in the history, okay? It happened also other times in the history. But we have here now, who stayed here? We have Abraham, we have Nahor, and we have Haran. Haran died, so we have Abraham and Nahor. Those are the 2. And they have 2 different visions how to reunite everybody together. Nahor is staying in one place, in Aram. Okay, it's a very big country, city, whatever it is, in the area of Syrian and Turkish today. And Abraham is going to the promised land. Now we can go to our chapter, okay? Let's go to our chapter and we can start to understand the main debate that there is there between Abraham and his servant. And we said already that until we are finishing to build up the Hebrew nation, to restore back the Hebrew nation that was thrown out to the fire, that was killed okay, that was demolished from Nimrod. Nimrod demolished them. So it's being closed, a situation where it only can be from the family. So let's go to the chapter that we are today. And now we can start to understand what is happening here and to see all the story. The beginning of the story is that Abraham is asking, please read verse number 3.
3, and I will adjure you by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites in whose midst I dwell.
Okay, but who are you going to take it? Please read verse number 4.
But you shall go to my land and to my birthplace, and you shall take a wife for my son, for Isaac.
So we're asking him, go there and bring her here. Don't forget, all the time the debate is, where is this family going to live? Here in Israel, in the promised land, or outside in the diaspora? Fine. And then the servant have a question. Please read verse number 5.
And the servant said to him, perhaps the woman will not wish to go after me to this land. Shall I return your son to the land from which you came?
And Abraham is answering him, no, be careful.
Abraham said to him, beware, lest you return my son back there.
Okay. And we already all of those things. And God will send you an angel with you or someone that will help you. And at the end of the, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. And it's very important for me. This is what Abraham is saying. Please read verse number 8.
And if the woman will not wish to go after you, you will be absolved of this my oath. Only do not return my son back there.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a nation here. How God is going to solve the problem if the woman doesn't want to come, I don't know. But you're not taking out Isaac. Isaac is the only father. We have 3 fathers. We have Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham had his wife Sarah, but also he had another wife. Jacob also had 2 wives, okay, even 4, not only 2. The only one who had 1 wife was Isaac. The only one who doesn't have 2 names is Isaac, okay? He was something very holy, very, very holy. So he had only 1 name. Abraham had 2 names. In the beginning, he had Abram, and then God changed his name to Abraham. Jacob had the name Jacob, and then he also have another name. His name is Israel. Isaac have only 1 name. Why name? The name in Hebrew is, he will laugh at the end of the days. Okay? Not today, at the end of the days, he will win, so he will laugh. So let's go, after the servant is sacrificing, let's read for a moment, a few verses to see the story. Please read verse number 10.
10, and the servant took 10 camels of his master's camels, and he went, and all the best of his master was in his hand. And he arose, and he went to Aram Naharim, to the city of Nahor.
So he's going to a very important city where Nahor is sitting there. Nahor is a very important person, and he's teaching, okay, to praise the Lord, to praise God, but he's doing it in the diaspora, in all sorts of places, not like Abraham who's doing it in Israel. And let's see what he's doing. Please read verse number 11.
11, and he made the camels kneel outside the city beside the well of water at eventide, at the time the maidens go out to draw water.
Fair enough. Now we know the story. I think everybody knows the story.
Yeah. But
let's try to read it in the eyes of the servant. Please read verse number. Now we need to read. Let's read 12, 13, and 14.
12, and he said, O Lord, the God of my master Abraham, please cause to happen to me today and perform a loving kindness with my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the water fountain. The daughters of the people of the city are coming out to draw water. And it will be that the maiden to whom I will say, lower your pitcher and I will drink, and she will say, drink, and I will also water your camels. Her have you designated for your servant, for Isaac, and through her may I know that you have performed loving kindness with my master.
A very simple question. If you can explain to me why he took this test. What is the idea in behind of this test? You can answer. Think for a moment. We have the servant of Abraham. He's supposed to bring the wife for Isaac, and he's doing a test to see if she could be in the tent of Isaac. What is the idea behind this test?
You wanted Hashem's signature on the whole matter.
Fair enough, but the signature is supposed to be also with a reasonable signature. There is something reasonable here. Try to think for a moment.
Kindness, if she is a person that gives kindness.
Fair enough. Here you see, he's starting to speak. It's also something that is related with Abraham, kindness. Fair enough. Explain a bit more. What is the meaning of the kindness here?
Chesed.
Doing chesed, okay? Doing something good with my servant, with my master, with Abraham. She is willing to give to others, just like Abraham is giving to others all the time. This is a simple test to see someone. Now think for a moment. Have you ever saw a camel? Who saw a camel? No. In Israel, we have a lot of them. In England also, they're working on the street there, so you can see the camels. No?
In Oman.
We spent years in Oman.
Oh,
That's
Thousands
right.
of camels.
But there's no camels in England, right?
No.
Yes, there are.
In zoos.
In zoos.
in the
In the
zoo, in the
zoo,
zoo. Fair enough. Now, the camel is something that knows to drink a lot.
Yes, when it's
Right.
thirsty.
He knows how to drink. Now, think about this for a moment. Eliezer, okay, the servant of Abraham, is moving from Israel to back there in Syria, okay? Maybe he walked 1 day, 2 days, never mind, but it's, something like 100 kilometers.
The camels were thirsty.
Not one, we have 10.
Wow.
And now we're asking, what are we asking?
One
We're
lady to
asking-
draw out enough
One
water
lady.
for all those camels. Yes. Yeah,
starting to
backbreaking work.
realize, starting to realize that he's asking to test, to see if this lady have kindness, just like Abraham, who is giving and giving to others, and not only for himself. Okay? He's
Yes.
starting to understand what he is doing. What exactly he's doing. Fair enough. If I'm the servant, so now I'm with a lot of, biting my fingers. It will manage, it won't manage. It will manage, it won't manage. Now think for a moment. It will manage, but it will be someone that is inappropriate for Abraham, not from the family, like he asked. What is he going to do? We have a say, okay? Our sages are saying something like that. There are people in the Bible that ask things and God help them that it will manage. Okay, fully help them. There are people who ask things and God didn't help them, and it was really awful. The circumcision, what happened after that was really awful. Okay, but let's see what is happening here. Okay, so please read verse number. The next coming 3 verses, please.
14?
Yes.
Oh, can you lower it just a little?
No,
Oh,
I'm
up.
speaking about 15. 15.
15,
We read already.
okay.
15, 16 until the end
Sure.
of 19.
15. Now he had not yet finished speaking, and behold, Rebekah came out, who had been born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abram's brother, and her pitcher was on her shoulder. Now the maiden was of very comely appearance, a virgin, and no man had been intimate with her. And she went down to the fountain, and she filled her pitcher and went up. And the servant ran toward her, and he said, "Please, let me sip a little water from your pitcher." And she said, "Drink, my lord." And she hastened and lowered her pitcher to her hand, and she gave him to drink. And she finished giving him to drink, and she said, "I will also draw for your camels until they have finished drinking."
Just exactly what he asked to, right? He asked something like that, and he's getting it. Did he knew that she is part of Abraham family?
No. He didn't ask her. Yeah. There's nothing stated that she said she was part. Nope.
Nothing, right?
Right.
Think about this for a moment. He is a servant of Abraham. Abraham said to him, listen, go there to my family and bring one of the daughters. The daughter who's supposed to be with Isaac. And he is giving some sort of a test. And the test is going on. It's going good. Okay, exactly as he asked. Good, great. He managed. He didn't manage. It's going good. Maybe it's someone else. Maybe everybody of the girls there is doing something like that. So in verse number 16, it says to us that it's stating that she was a very pure girl, okay? Not like the others there. But it's something that you can't really see, you know? When you're looking at a girl or someone, you don't know if she already had an intimate situation with someone, yes or not. He didn't know all of those things. And this is what it says here in verses number 20 and 21. Please read them.
20. And she hastened, and she emptied her pitcher into the trough, and she ran again to the well to draw water, and she drew for all his camels. And the man was astonished at her, standing silent, waiting to know whether the Lord had caused his way to prosper or not. He was still unsure.
Of course, he is unsure. But even though, please look for a moment what is happening now. Verses number 22, 23, until 27, please.
22, if you could scroll back.
Yes.
Now it came about when the camels had finished drinking that the man took a golden nose ring weighing half a shekel and 2 bracelets for her hands weighing 10 gold shekels. And he said, whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there a place for us for lodging in your father's house? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. And she said to him, both straw and fodder are plentiful with us. There is also a place to lodge.
26 and 27, please.
And the man kneeled and prostrated himself to the Lord. And he said, blessed is the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his loving kindness and his truth from my master. As for me, the Lord led me on the road to the house of my master's kinsman.
Okay, so first of all, we see a few things. At the beginning, I think that he's a bit, I will say it like that, he's not thinking too much. Okay, because what is he doing? Straight after she finished, he is astonished. Okay, it's good or not? It's the right person, it's not the right person. Even though, before he is starting to ask her, who daughter are you? Right? What is he doing? He is giving her a lot of
gold.
Things, a lot of gold. The gold here is hinting for a lot of things. Okay? I'm asking myself if we're going to read Rashi or not. In a moment, we will decide. Because I want to do a fish.
You've got less than 20 minutes, Rabbi.
I know. This is why it's important for me to see for a moment the story, because we're saying it twice. And then we can speak next week about principles about this story. But he is giving here things. He doesn't know yet if she is the right person, she's the right girl, she's not. After he's giving her all those things, he's asking her who you are. And when she's answering him that she is the son, okay, so he have here now a double match, I will say it like that. One side, Abraham asked him to go and to take someone from the family. So he found someone from them, but he found someone from the family who is willing to do kindness to someone that she doesn't know. So the servant here is feeling that everything is closing up, and he's blessing God for guiding him for the success of what's happening here, to guide him to this success. Let's see now the continuous of the story. Okay, so please let's read 28, 29, and 30.
28.
Scroll a little bit. Up.
And the maiden ran, and she told her mother's house what had happened. Now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran to the man outside to the fountain. And it came to pass, when he saw the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's hands, and when he heard the words of his sister Rebekah, saying, So did the man speak to me, that he came to the man, and behold, he was standing over the camels at the fountain. And he said, Come, you who are blessed of the Lord, why should you stand outside when I have cleared the house and a place for the camels?
What is driving Laban?
He's motivated by the money. Yeah,
That's
he
right,
saw the gold.
Not like Rebecca, who's motivated by doing kindness, giving to others. Laban is motivated. It's very clear in verse number 30. Okay, Laban is motivated because of the money. He saw all of the goodies, the bracelets, and all those things, and he's saying to him, "Oh, come inside. You know, I have place also for the." By the way, I had my first main teacher of the Bible when we came a bit late to the class, so he was quoting this verse 31. Come, bless God, come. Don't stand outside. I have a lot of place for all of the camels. Come inside. Okay, and then we went inside, you know, very sadness to the class because he called us in his way that we are camels. But he is not motivated of doing kindness. He's motivated of getting money. Fair enough. Now, what is the main thing that the servant is supposed to do for the next step? He's supposed to convince the family and Rebecca to take her back to
The land of Israel, yeah.
the land of Israel. How old Rebecca was in those days, who knows?
I don't think it said. She said she was young, though.
Okay, in our tradition, it says that she was only 3 years old. It's hard to explain that, so I'm not going to explain this too much. She was very young, let's say it like that. So let's see how, what is happening now. So let's read verse number 32. Just read 32 and then...
So the man, 32, so the man came to the house and unmuzzled the camels, and he gave straw and fodder to the camels and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. And food was set before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have spoken my words. And he said, Speak.
Fair enough. So we have here now a situation where he's supposed to explain and to describe everything that's happening. Let's see for a moment, there's going to be a few differences of the things. So let's see. Let's start.
35
34.
or 34. And he said, I am Abraham's servant, and the Lord blessed my master exceedingly, and he became great, and he gave him sheep and cattle, silver and gold, manservants and maidservants, camels and donkeys.
Just
And
a moment,
Sarah,
stop for a moment. To whom he's speaking? With whom he's speaking now?
I think he's speaking with Laban and maybe some other
very-
family members that are unnamed.
Exactly, it's very clear. Okay, he's realizing with who he's supposed to speak and how he's supposed to speak with those people. Maybe also Rebecca is listening. Okay, but we know that Rebecca, this is not the things that are driving her. This is not the things that she's looking for. It's very nice always to be also very rich people. Okay, it's important also to be rich people. But this is not the motive that Rebecca have. This is the motive that Laban and his father had. Okay, so let's continue on.
36. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master after she had become old, and he gave him all that he possesses. And my master adjured me, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. Instead, you must go to my father's house and to my family, and take a wife for my son. 39, he said,
only 39 for a moment.
And I said to my master, Perhaps a woman will not follow me.
It's the same. We already read it. It's amazing to see how the Bible is reading down those things again. We don't need to read it again. There's few differences here that we need to point for a moment, okay? The word perhaps here is written down differently than the word perhaps in Hebrew, okay? Differently than it's written down above, okay? Here you can see you have only 3 letters, Aleph, Lamed, Yud. Above, it's written down with 4 letters. There's another letter there. Here, if you're not putting all the dots and all of those things, so you can read it in this way. She would come to me. And our sages are saying that Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, had also a daughter. And he wanted very much that this daughter will get married with Isaac. In his desire, inside desire that he had, that perhaps she won't come. And then I can give my daughter to Isaac. This is what is hinted here, okay? And if you read Rashi after that, you will see it's written down in Rashi. But he's continuing on. He's starting to realize that God is leading here this story and not Eliezer, okay, the Abraham's servant. So let's read. So let's continue on.
Verse 40, and he said to me, the Lord before whom I walked will send his angel with you and make your way prosper, and you shall take a wife for my son from my family and from my father's house. You will then be absolved from my oath when you come to my family, and if they do not give her to you, you will be absolved from my oath. So I came today to the fountain.
Fine, yes. Now let's see how, a few minutes ago, we already read this story. See, there's a very big difference here. Okay, so let's start reading the situation.
42. So I came today to the fountain, and I said, O Lord, my God, or God of my master Abraham, if you desire to prosper my way upon which I am going, behold, I am standing by the water fountain. When a maiden comes out to draw water, I will say to her, please give me a little water to drink from your pitcher. And if she will say to me, you too may drink, and I will also draw water for your camels. She is the woman whom the Lord has designated for my master's son. I had not yet finished speaking thus in my heart, and behold, Rebekah came out with her pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down to the fountain and drew water, and I said to her, please give me to drink. And she hastened and lowered her pitcher from upon her, and she said, drink, and I will also water your camels. So I drank, and she also watered the camels. And I asked her, and I said, whose daughter are you? And she replied, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him. And I placed the nose ring on her nose and the bracelets on her hands. And I kneeled and prostrated.
Just a moment. Again, 47. Is it true? This is what happened?
Yes.
First of all, he asked her, who are you? And then he gave her all the gold and silver and everything else.
No, he gave the gold first, did he not?
So again, in 47, he's saying something a bit different, right? He's not
It's
saying
the way he saw the events, for sure.
He's saying something else. Now we need to understand why he changed it. Do you realize what I'm saying? At the beginning, he straight away gave her a lot of things, and then he asked her, who are you? Now, when he's saying this story, when he's saying this story to the family, he's saying it in a reasonable way. I asked her who you are, and then I gave her a lot of things. Okay, so we need
which he didn't know in foresight. Yeah,
it's a point that we need to speak about. Next week, maybe probably next week we'll speak about this. Yes, 48.
48. And I kneeled and prostrated myself to the Lord, and I blessed the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who led me on the true path to take the daughter of my master's brother for his son. And now, if you will do loving kindness and truth with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, and I will turn to the right or to the left. And Laban and Bethuel answered. So her father, right? The matter has emanated from the Lord. We cannot speak to you either bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go and let her be a wife for your master's son, as the Lord has spoken. And now it came to pass when Abraham's servant heard their words that he prostrated himself on the ground to the Lord. And the servant took out silver articles and golden articles and garments, and he gave them to Rebekah, and he gave delicacies to her brother and to her mother.
This is enough for a moment. First of all, we see here something amazing that those people, Laban and his father, okay, Bethuel, both of them are stating something something very amazing, okay? The matter has emanated from God. We cannot speak to you neither bad or good. He managed to tell the story in a way where they got convinced that this is something that is coming from God. Again, because we have a short time tonight and we are just doing a brief of this story, this is one of the uniqueness ways of behavior of the servant of Abraham, also how to say the story in a way that it will convince all of them to say that, it's something from God. We can see here also a hint situation. One of the most interesting secrets of this world is how come a couple deciding to become a couple, okay? Husband and wife, male and female get connected one with each other. And we see this all over the world where people are getting connected one to each other. And it's something that it's a bit coming from God. It's something that it's not really with a logic explanation. It's above the logic explanation. It's already being said in the Proverbs. How do you say this? Mishlei. Okay, how do you say this book in English? Those are the things that you can't. Yes, that you can't. There are four things that are a bit, above logic, and one of them is the relationship between husband and wife. Now, with the fathers that we had, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we have few ways how they got married, or what was the connection between them. The Isaac and Rebecca one was the most miraculously way that God organized it. And this is who's saying that this is a miracle way? Laban and his father, okay? Not only the servant is saying it. When the servant is explaining the situation, they're saying this is something that God miraculously organized. We have nothing to say. It's not in our hands. One of the ways of getting connected, husband and wife, getting connected, female one to each other, is in a miracle way. It's not 100% logically explained how people are falling in love one with each other, getting connected one with each other. Okay? And then let's continue on a bit more. And he's giving a lot of presents there. And in the morning after that,
they ate and they drank.
Verses, yes.
He and the men who were with him, and they lodged, and they arose in the morning, and he said, "Send me away to my master." And her brother and her mother said, "Let the maiden stay with us a year or 10 months. Afterwards, she will go."
So they're asking him to have. First of all, someone is missing here. Okay, who is missing here?
The father.
The father is missing.
Bethel.
Okay. Another point that we need to speak next week to understand what's happening here. Second thing is that they're trying to delay him, right? Give us a year, few months, something like that. And he's asking them, please read.
But he said to them, "Do not delay me, since the Lord has made my way prosper. Send me away, and I will go to my master." And they said, "Let us call the maiden and ask her." And they summoned Rebekah, and they said to her, "Will you go with this man?" And she said, "I will go." And they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant, and his men.
So we see here, first of all, I will summarize for a moment because I need to close. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got a couple more minutes.
Yes. We have the story twice, how it happened and how the servant is explaining it. We have a few differences that we need to drill a bit inside about the differences. And we need to understand how come the Bible, that the words are very counted, and we are learning a lot of things only in the oral Bible, and we didn't written down it. Okay, how come the Bible is giving us so many words, this story twice? those are things that we're going to speak next week. I'm sorry that I need to stop now, and we're going to drill inside a bit to this story. But now we understand. We're starting to realize the story, and the story is a bit. It's showing the kindness of Rebecca, but we need to understand what exactly is happening with the full situation. It's nice to see a few new people. Okay, George, right? George, from where are you, George?
Kentucky.
Okay, fair enough. Nice to see you. Hope
Thank
to see
you.
you next week. And Nicola, right? Nicola?
That's right. From Italy.
Italy,
Yes.
great. We have few people in Italy, by the way. We have few
Okay.
people, and we have also the Brit Shalom in Italy. And I'm sorry that I need to stop. I must stop here. Okay, it's something that urgent came inside as you saw. Okay, in the beginning of this lesson. Next week,
Awesome, Rabbi.
as
Thank you
usual,
so much.
hopefully full length and everything will be okay. Okay.
Okay.
See you all. Thank you very much. Bye.
All
Have
right,
a great
thank you,
week.
Rabbi.
Bye.
All right. Catch the Torah wave, everybody. Thank you so much for attending. Rabbi has to take off for today, but we will be back next week, Hashem willing, with the same class, and we're going to continue on with more of the same story of the wedding of Isaac and Rebecca. So we wish you well. I will be back in a couple of hours, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, with our Working Together series with Rabbi Karmai Ingber and our friends from Nativ on their Zoom room. If anybody wants to attend, send me a message and I'll make sure you get the Zoom link. So we'll be back with that in just a few hours. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody. Bye for now.